Welcome to baseball season. Some people make predictions based on the talent the Phillies have. We make it on the quality of their rivals' beer.
It's a beer. No, it's a dessert. No, it's both. A pastry stout.
He's Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the Ten7 Brewing Company in North Wales for this episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90+ breweries, and 1,000+ beers. And by CONSHY Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at CONSHYExpress.com.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing. He's noted beer authority Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the Ten7 Brewing Company in North Wales, right across from the North Wales train station. It's the
Lansdale-Doylestown line.
Of course it is, and I would have known that before I had this nice triple. This is the Big Hoppy Triple Hazy IPA.
Wow, it's a big IPA.
Near 11%, my friend.
I love the name of this one, Stimulus Czech.
Oh, that's great.
A Czech dark lager.
Oh, that's terrific. All right. So we got a lot we're going to cover today. It's baseball season. We're going to get into that. But we are going to start with our beer swap. And today we have a kind that we've really never talked about before.
No, it's unusual that because we think we have had every single beer style, but not this. This is pastry stout, which, as I said in the opener, is a bit of a mix between a dessert and a beer. It's a beer that has been sweetened with lactose sugar, which is not fermentable, so it leaves a sweet taste, and then it's flavored with various things, including this one, which is from Ignite Brewing Company, Mounds of Curiosity. So
I know where you're going.
Exactly.
A little coconut in that?
A little coconut.
All right, let's try that. Is this fun or is this Halloween candy?
Good question. I think it's mostly fun. Some people hate this style of beer because it really doesn't taste like beer. So we've had various,
you told me that the name pastry stout was meant as derogatory.
It was a blogger down in Florida, I think, that came up with the name, who basically saying this is not beer, it's actually dessert, because some of the variety flavors are amazing. I mean, up front here we've got a Neapolitan milk stout, like ice cream, and also this is Campfire Fields, which is marshmallows. So
I actually like this. I think it's actually pretty good. So I brought you one from our CONSHY Brewing Company, s'mores, right? Everybody likes s'mores.
So we got graham crackers,
yep,
chocolate,
yep,
marshmallows,
graham crackers, marshmallows, cocoa nibs, and vanilla beans. Right? What's not to like in that group, huh?
Well, as long as it doesn't melt all over my hands, which is what happens with s'mores.
Hey, you have this by the campfire. Cut out the middleman of having to put a stick over a fire. Here you go.
That's pretty good. That actually tastes a lot closer to just like a typical chocolate stout that's got some other spices in it, but I like that.
Now, one of the things that was interesting to me is I read a piece in the New York Times that it's often harder to mimic the food flavors than you would think.
Well, consider that you've got to somehow get those food flavors into a beer which has its own flavor. But these days there's artificial and natural flavorings for pretty much everything under the sun. So, and you're seeing a lot of that. But brewers, it wasn't so long ago that brewers would have turned their back on anything artificial in their beers, these adjuncts and so on. But these days they've been embraced, and that's partly because, people like them. A lot of people come in, they want to get these big, they want to get blown away by a beer that tastes like something else.
Yeah, well, sure. Which I hear just in your voice a little bit of a little shot in that.
Well, you know how I am.
Beer that wants to taste like something else.
I like beer that tastes like beer.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, I try not to diss other people's tastes.
Okay.
So, as long as I go into a bar and it's not like 12 pastry stouts,
Sure.
I'm sure I'll find
It's
something
a nice
I'm
change.
okay
It's
with.
an end of the night kind of thing. All right, then
Always.
they make one here as well, right? We have a pour of that.
Actually, what we've got is this phenomenon of the flavors has spread over there.
Here it is.
Into IPAs as well. We're seeing pastry IPAs, and this is I love the name of this, Milky Milky Shaky Shaky. It is a blackberry milkshake IPA.
Oh wow, that's creative.
And you get big blackberry right up front on this one.
Yeah, I like it.
Actually,
You know what? That's a good blend.
it is, and the blackberry works well with a hoppy beer, I think. So I think they actually nailed this one pretty well. It's actually available in cans as well, as I see here.
So is this a nostalgia thing for people?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the people that are drinking these beers are looking for flavors that they remember when they were growing up. Captain Crunch or Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I saw them with Pop-Tarts.
Our friends from Ship Bottom make one, a peanut butter milkshake IPA. They make another one, peanut butter and jelly. So, you know, I think it's those flavors that you remember growing up.
So my bottom line on this style is, I like it, but one's enough.
Yeah, one and done, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe even share it with somebody if it's a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
So
I like it. Hey, guess what? We're delighted that it's a beautiful day out here in North Wales at the Ten7 Brewing Company. Baseball season's coming. When we come back, we're going to tell you a lot about, well, first of all, our prediction of how the Phillies are going to do, some collaborations, good baseball talk coming up next on What's Brewing.
Hey Zoom World, I'm Marissa Magnata.
And I'm Chill Moody. Look, breweries need our support now more than ever.
Many breweries offer delivery and takeout services.
And beer makes a great gift.
Go to visitphilly.com for more information.
It's time for spring seasonal beers and the easy drinking favorites at CONSHY Brewing Company. There's something for everyone, whether it's the Blood Money Blood Orange IPA, the crushable Ring the Bell Unfiltered Pilsner, Life Coach Session IPA, or my favorite, MC5, a hazy hop bomb bursting with juicy flavor and aroma. Look for these and more at your favorite local beer retailer or visit any CONSHY Brewing Company location where you'll find safe, comfortable indoor and outdoor seating. I'll see you there. Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. We are at the Ten7 Brewing Company in North Wales, right across from the train station. Joe Sixpack. Follow him on Twitter at beer_radar. Excuse me. Follow me at Real Glen Macnow. And you can hear the train coming. Wow, we're actually, there you go. You can follow the show at What's Brewing PA. Baseball season's here. I'm so excited. I want to get down to Citizens Bank Park, letting some people in.
I do, and I'm with you there, but you know, they're going to really reduce the number of people initially. I mean, but those reduced numbers mean one really drastic thing, and that is that you're going to see very, very little draft beer there because you know, they don't want to be opening up kegs of beer and then they don't go through them. So mostly you're going to see cans, but that's going to be a big change because draft beer at the ballpark is part of what makes baseball baseball.
I know. Any new exciting, like how's the variety look?
Well, there's only going to be about, I think it's 8 or 9 partners down there that have come in on it. CONSHY Brewing, of course.
Excited to be there. Very
Ring
excited.
the Bell, one of my favorites.
Yeah, good ballpark beer.
New one from Sly Fox, Slugger is a pale unfiltered Pilsner. Flying Fish, New Belgium, Trogs, Founders, Yards. Brand new this season is Levante from Westchester is going to be down there. But I think the one that I actually tweeted this and people were like, what? And that is Victory Golden Monkey, big, 11% beer.
Yeah,
or so,
sure.
19.2 ounce cans.
Whoa,
So,
one of those is going to probably be enough.
Exactly.
Okay, and of course, you'll probably find this too, which is the Yuengling for the second year in a row. Yuengling is the official sponsor of the Phillies, official lager of the Phillies. You can buy these cans everywhere, these nice retro cans.
I love that can.
Yeah,
beautiful label.
That's my gift for you.
Thank you.
And once again, Aaron Nola is a spokesman for Yuengling. We talked about this like a couple of years ago. When will professional athletes start endorsing beer? well, that restriction ended and Aaron Nola's drinking beer, so
That's
good
pretty
for
cool.
him.
I heard something great about Aaron Nola.
What?
I mean, this is the lager. We all love this beer. I heard, this is completely off the record, but we're going to share it here.
Oh.
His favorite Yingling is Lord Chesterfield Ale.
Oh, you love that.
I love that
we
beer.
went down and
so
found that beer there.
You didn't
Well,
hear it
that's
from
okay.
me, okay?
I think he's allowed. I think he's allowed to feel that way. Okay, how are the Phillies going to do? Well, there's a lot of predictions. Most have them third or fourth in the division. We're going to do it a different way. We are going to judge all the other 4 teams in the division by trying a notable beer from their city. That seems fair.
Absolutely fair. I mean, what better way to judge a city than by its beer?
All right, so we're going to start with Atlanta. This is Sweetwater 420 Extra Pale Ale. Let's give this a try. What do you know about this beer?
This is a good, basic pale ale. Nothing flashy about it. Reminds me of the Braves back when they were winning in the 90s, early 2000s. Let's see, I think I probably appreciate this beer with a little bit less Chipper Jones in it, maybe.
You know what? I'm not getting much personality from this beer. It's okay.
It's a basic pale ale. Not a bad, it's not their greatest beer, I don't think.
Not great. All right, let's go to Miami where the Marlins well, they made the playoffs last year. Who would have thought that? Boy, this can so looks like the Marlins.
That tells me everything.
Looks like their ballpark.
Exactly. Everything, you know, that crappy stadium that they're in, I really don't like it.
This is the MIA Mega Mix, a West Coast style pale ale with some bad packaging.
Another pale ale. This one's a little bit more bitter than the 420.
Yeah, I don't like it. All right.
You're tough.
All right, let's go. Actually, we have had beers from this place before. So this is New York, not just New York, but this is Queens, where the Mets are from. This is
Right.
Single Cut.
We had their beer smiths.
Oh, excuse
They
me.
all wear pork pie hats while they brew. And
We had their Weird and Gilly on a show earlier this season, and we liked it. So this is their, what do they call this one? Bright and Hollow
Bright and
Sky.
Hollow.
They're all music inspired.
You're
all
right.
their
This
stuff.
is like a contemporary classical music album that it's based on.
Oh, that's the best one yet.
It's a little too hipstery for my taste, actually.
How is beer hipstery? So far, this is the best.
I think handlebar mustaches.
You just got a thing against New York and the Mets, which is understandable. And finally, the Nationals hope to come back this year. And this is the DC Brow,
Yep.
excuse me. What better name for a beer out of Washington? And they show the capital, the Corruption.
The Corruption. Actually, when we talked about this, I felt like this beer would be the official beer of the Houston Astros.
All right, let's try this. Okay, here's how I rank them. This is how the division's going. Okay, hold on. Phillies first.
All right.
Where's that Yingling?
There's
Give
the
me
Phillies.
that. All right, Phillies first. Second place, based on me, the Mets. Washington third. Atlanta 4, and the Marlins in last place. What do you got?
I go with all that, but I'm going to move the Marlins beer. I'd swap the Atlanta and the Marlins beer.
Oh, okay, but we
So,
basically agree.
Yeah.
I got news. None of them were that great, which means the Phillies win the division.
Absolutely.
Everybody, get ready for the playoffs. It's going to be great.
Broad Street Parade.
Hey, coming up, we're going to talk about a friend of Joe Sixpack who recorded that he drank 10,000 distinct and different beers.
Amazing. In 10 years.
I admire that.
Yes.
We're at the Ten7 Brewing Company in North Wales. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow, what's brewing?
It's a place that inspires the dreamers, the overachievers, a place for those who follow the path, as well as the ones who blaze them. So whether you want to go with the flow or rise above it all, visit Bucks County and be inspired.
Welcome back to What's Brewing with the Ten7 Brewing Company. What a nice place outdoors. They got a beautiful patio
This
here.
is like the perfect weather for outdoor
Yeah,
drinking.
and they really have a nice setup here in North Wales. And I am about to drink, this is work, my friend, the Citricalistratalistic Expiala Sulcius. Well, it's a nice
Mouthful.
looking can. I just don't think I'd be able to order two, but there you go.
So it's a new beer for you. I have a question for you, Glenn.
Yeah.
how many different beers do you think we've drunk together?
Together? Oh gosh, you know, we've been doing the
How
show.
about just yourself?
Oh, individual distinct beers, you know, maybe 500, 600, I don't know.
So there's a whole phenomenon in beer today of counting your beers. And recently I had the really wonderful experience of drinking a beer with one of our loyal viewers, a guy named Bob Benash.
Yeah, great guy.
And he was drinking his 10,000th different beer.
And he records them.
He records them on Untapped, which
Yeah.
of course is the great, we've talked about it before, it's a great app that people use to rate beers that they had. They share them with their friends. And there's a bit of a boasting aspect to it of the number of different beers that you've had.
People ask me all the time, am I on it? Am I on it? And it's not like, no, I don't want to be that social.
I'm on it, but I have exactly one beer on it because I
Really? That's a big help.
yeah, exactly.
So this guy, he did 10,000 beer, and he, wow.
In 10 years. So it's 1,000 different beers for 10 straight
My
years.
math tells me that's almost 3 a day.
Yes, exactly.
Different beers.
Oh,
So what was number 10,000? How did he get there?
10,000 was a beer called Anchorage Brewing 10 Years. Great
That's
name.
appropriate, yeah.
The 15% strong ale. He drank it. We did it online together. He says it was fantastic.
Is that his only one of the day? I guess
No, because he drank number 9,999. He drank just before it. CONSHY MC5.
All right, nice work.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Bob.
He
I
was
appreciate
really
it.
into that,
So this is the other thing with Untapped, that it can be potentially negative. And you mentioned this to me, that everybody leans the same direction. A beer that might be good but is kind of a niche beer is going to get bad ratings, and that's going to hurt it.
This has been a problem in beer rating forever, not just Untapped, but Beer Advocate, Rate Beer, and so on. These places all sort of tend to skew very much towards extreme beers, the big, bitter, fruity, whatever, hoppy IPAs, the big barrel-aged stouts. And lost in the dust is things like very subtle pilsners, or the a dark lager like this, a dark Czech lager. This one is it's a very, very good beer, but it's never going to get those kind of ratings.
Because people who feel the need to try 1,000 beers, right, but may not particularly like that style, is like, oh, I'll try it, and I don't like it.
Well, the problem
But it's a good beer.
It's a good beer, but they're comparing it against like a triple IPA, which is completely unfair. They should have a way to filter these results so that you rank within a specific style. But that said, there's always going to be, how many different beers can I try?
Yeah.
So
would you ever, I know you wouldn't, but would people like walk into a brewery like this and like, okay, there's 9 different beers. I don't know, let's see what people put on Untapped. It's like, oh, they really particularly like this beer, I'm going to try it. So that seems a useful purpose.
It is useful, but again, as you point out, there's a bias to it, to the big beers. And honestly, when I go into a place like Ten7 or anywhere else, I kind of try everything. So I want to try all the different beers.
And we are today. But
Yes.
you know what we're not having? We're not having a Heisler beer.
Heisler.
Heisler. Let me ask you a question. Do you watch New Girl?
I don't watch.
Do you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Do you watch The Good Place?
Yes, I love The
Okay,
Good
well, we're
Place.
going to show. There's a picture here from The Good Place, and they're drinking a beer, and it's a Heisler beer. What is Heisler beer? Heisler beer is the most popular beer on television that doesn't exist, because when they put beer on television, either a company's got to like pay for the sponsorship and they don't want to do it, or often beer's presented in a negative way.
Right.
You go to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if you're a legitimate beer, you don't want to be associated with those
They're getting
people.
spit-faced.
Right, so yeah. So there is a company, the legendary Hollywood prop outlet called Independent Studio Services, or as Joe Sixpack would say, Independent Studio Services, and they make a series of fake beers for TV. Heisler's the most popular, and if you look at shows and look for scenes with beer, just Google Heisler beer, it's dozens and dozens and hundreds of TV shows. This company with the really nice dark red and gold can is in there.
It's amazing, because I'm one of those people that always tries to see, what is it they're drinking, what is they're drinking? And I had to say, I was looking at Brooklyn Nine-Nine and trying to figure it out, and I didn't realize that it was just a fake beer.
That's what it is. They also, the company that does it also makes fake beers, also known as El Brazo, Cerveza Clara,
Okay.
and one called American Colonial, which they kind of brand as a very microbrewery northeastern beer that has been on Parks and Recs, Shameless, The Walk, and The Walking Dead. So all these shows, that's what it
They
is.
have to make it for real. I think people would buy it.
They would. The one fake beer that I will always think of?
I know which one.
Go ahead.
Duff.
Duff for most on The Simpsons. That is correct. You get better stuff here than you do there. Coming up, we're going to talk with one of the fine owners of the Ten7 Brewing Company, Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. What's brewing?
They're not just familiar faces, they're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home, where personality is served on a plate and imagination paints a brighter world. A place where fresh is always in stock with a personal touch passed down through generations. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
The Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, over 90 breweries, and over 1,000 beers. Sip your way through it, one beer at a time.
That's What's Brewing Beer Brew Down is sponsored by the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90 plus breweries, and 1,000 plus beers. Vote for your choices on Twitter at beer_radar, Real Glen Macnow, or What's Brewing PA.
Hey, welcome back to What's Brewing. By the way, Montco Makers is one of our sponsors, and they have so many great breweries all throughout Montgomery County. Make sure you check them out. One of them, of course, is Ten7 right here. We're pleased to be joined by Bob Heger, one of the co-owners. Let's first talk about the name because, you know, police-savvy people like me, we know what it means, but some of our viewers may not. Explain.
Okay, so Ten7 is part of the 10 codes, which don't get used very often anymore in police work, but it originally meant in this area, it means off-duty or unavailable.
And you're a cop.
I am. Almost 10-7 for good.
Is that right?
Yeah, in the next few years, or possibly sooner.
This is the retirement dream?
This is what...
and that shows it.
Right, so this is the logo, 10-7, again, off-duty or unavailable. So here I am, off-duty, laying in a hammock, drinking a beer, petting my dog. That's the ultimate 10-7 for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
And what about this brewery? What kind of beers, like, what do you have a philosophy about the beers that you want to make here?
Basically, our philosophy is that we want anyone to come in and find something that they're going to enjoy. We do a lot of hazy IPAs, which are obviously, you know, a huge trend right now. I don't know that that's ever going to change, but we do a lot of different things. We do fruited sours, we do saisons, we do barrel-aged saisons. You have something classy right there. We do a lot of stouts. We're you know, known for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
this is a barrel-aged, and right, you guys are drinking.
Not a lot of people make an ESB. I really appreciate an ESB, and you make a good one. That's
Thank you.
I don't want to say it's esoteric, but it's usually not the front of people's list.
I agree. Yeah, but it is a great style. It's a great beer.
Extra special bitter. It's like, you know, it's a working man's beer or a working woman's beer in England, but you're right, you don't see a whole lot of them out there.
Yeah, this is bitter like my ex, which you know, a lot of people, it scares them off a little bit. You know, they think it's going to be bitter.
Right, it's not.
It's the style, and it's not super bitter, but you know, naming beers is a difficult thing. You know, you turn some people off with some of them. But,
yeah, I'm still struggling trying.
Yeah, that's a tough one,
but
you know, Mary Poppins beer.
I get it.
So you did a lot of work here on this facility, right here across the street from the North Wales train station. What was this building before?
Originally, it was a fuel oil company, and they stored and worked on big trucks in here. So there's about 14 inches of concrete in here, which we found out when we were digging for, you know, cutting in for our drains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that was bought out by a company who did a lot of online sales. They first did motorsports here, then they did online sales. They had a showroom that had Yeti coolers in there. That was the room that has the doors that say Ten7 on it. They transitioned into a little bit more, you know, drop shipping and stuff. So they didn't need the space, so we got it.
But you totally transformed this place. This is a beautiful brewery.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
We spent a year on it, building it. So,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and you have a really nice outdoor facility, which I'm sure serves you well now and will through the summer as people are, you know, looking more toward outdoor drinking and dining. You opened, well, I think about a year before the pandemic hit?
We did, yeah. October
Okay.
2018 is
Yeah,
when we opened.
obviously you've survived it. Are you thinking
did.
things are going to look up this year?
Yeah, I think we're doing quite well with all things considered. We transitioned into more canning than we had anticipated. You know, we planned on 2020 being a year where we started doing some canning, but obviously not to this extent. But.
Right, you have a big selection of beers. You can also get these online through a fun
Right.
online service.
Yep. That's Prohibition Parcel.
Okay.
ProhibitionParcel.com. We open that on Sunday at noon. We go till Wednesday at noon, so we ship anywhere in Pennsylvania.
Anywhere in Pennsylvania,
Yes.
you can get Ten7 beer.
Yep.
So what are the hours here and what are you doing here at Ten7 people want to come by?
Right now, Thursdays are takeout, curbside pickup only, but we're changing once we hit April. We're going to be open 4 to 9 on Thursdays. Friday is 4 to 9. Saturday is 1 to 9. Sunday is 1 to 5.
Good.
So those hours could change as things pick up a little bit more, as restrictions loosen, things like that.
So, a lot going on in the world of beer here in North Wales. We also have our beer bracket that's been continuing
Yeah, let's
on.
let's
Do we
get
have time
to that.
to get to that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we've been doing an online beer bracket, people voting on the biggest sellers in beer, and we have a few results here. We talked about the Yingling Lager earlier. They stomped in the old school category. They stomped Narragansett 73 to 27.
Yeah, we got a lot of blowback from people saying, that's not a craft beer, it's not a craft beer. Well, guess what? It is defined as a craft beer.
Right.
What we did this year were the 32 largest selling craft beers. If you have a problem, it's not with us, it's with the Craft Beer Association. So, congratulations, Yingling moves on to the Elite Eight. What else?
Two other quick ones. In the global category, we had Lagunitas IPA, just edging out New Belgian Fat Tire, two classic styles of beer. But I
okay.
think it was an IPA thing
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are
yeah,
favoring.
yeah. Two good beers.
And then finally, a really good matchup in a not so independent category, which pitted Cigar City High Life
I'm a fan.
against Ballast Point Scalpin.
I'm a fan. Oh, let me guess. Cigar City won a close one.
It was 55 to 45. I think it's partly because Ballast Point, you don't see it as much anymore in the East. I think their distribution is cut back. Cigar City you see everywhere now.
Yeah, well, you are correct, and we appreciate people doing it. Again, you follow him at beer_radar. I'm at Real Glen Macnow. The show's at What's Brewing. You guys got a social media component?
We do. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, website.
Under Ten7 Brewing?
Yep, Ten7 Brewing.
Well, listen, we've had a great afternoon here. We have enjoyed a full array of terrific beers, and we've enjoyed our time with you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Bob Hager, and thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, for watching us. We'll be back next week with a new episode of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90+ breweries, and 1,000+ beers. And by CONSHY Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at CONSHYExpress.com.